Hello, and welcome to another episode of Time of Day, the Transatlantic wargaming podcast brought to you by people that break for assault. I'm Neil Parnell from somewhere in the south of England. And as ever, I'm joined by my co-host Mike in sunny LA. Mike, is it sunny in LA today?
Yes, it is. It is absolutely beautiful outside. It's a touch cold. It's 60 degrees, so people have brought out their winter wear.
That's like the Scottish t-shirt weather right there. Uh, but yes, so that's good to hear. So continuing our theme of Checkpoint Charlie, we are going to be looking at the West Germans tonight, won't we?
Yes. Uh there were definitely some surprises. We got some stuff that I was not expecting,
Hmm.
especially considering that they held off on the US weirdo recon formation, but they gave one to the Germans.
Well, the Americans had a cavalry section as well. They had their M114 cavalry, and these guys got their even weirder cavalry.
I suppose that's true.
But yeah, so,
But it doesn't feel as weird because the German version's got tanks in it, like more
mhm,
more properish tanks
yeah.
instead
Well,
of just
this,
just wrecky vehicles. But
yeah, well, I mean, so the Checkpoint Charlie period is very much Germans transitioning from being entirely reliant on the Americans basically for all their weapons to actually having their own arms industry put out a lot of kit. So you're going away from the M47s and M48s that were the bulk of the West German army to, like say, an increasing amount of leopards. You start seeing their own APCs appearing with the Hotchkiss, which we'll discuss later, and then later the Marder.
Mhm.
And in fact, we have two goes at this because the Hotchkiss ended up being a complete disaster of mechanical reliability and got dumped in favour of the Marder later and its associated sport vehicles. So they have two stabs at the cherry, but with tanks, they pretty much nailed it the first time. So it's an interesting period, and it feels almost like all the stuff that you see in Team Yankee later first appears here, basically. Its earlier phase.
more or less, or at least the ideas of a lot of the stuff that we see in Team Yankee coming up here.
Hmm. Right. Bring up the old forces.
Yeah. So we only have 6 companies, although that's fairly standard for Checkpoint Charlie.
Hmm.
The Leopard One company, the M48s, uh, the Jagdpanzer companies.
A surprise, but a pleasant one to be sure.
A pleasant surprise, to be sure. Martyr Panzer Grenadier and 113 Panzer Grenadiers, and then the Panzer Aufklärungscompany.
Hmm.
Uh, and we're gonna get into man, have they really like messed up some internal balances and made some mistakes when we get to next episode where we talk about the Soviet Union. But I think the Jagdpanzer is them looking at the limitations of the era of Checkpoint Charlie and making good decisions.
Yeah, West Germans are generally pretty well balanced choice to choice. So compared to some of the weirdness like you get like with the conquering the British and well, we'll get to the Soviets in the next episode.
Right? And there, there's no heavy tanks in here.
No,
Like there is no
quite the opposite.
M103, right? Everything in here is super lightweight and super fast.
The
So
M48
faction
is as heavy as it
identity
gets.
is different than what people are used to in Team Yankee, but still strong in its own way.
Yeah. I also think the Leopard is still pretty much the Leopard we see, but rather than being a aging support tank and recce tank, and here it's actually now, no, this is it as its prime as a main battle tank and doing some very interesting stuff for this period.
Hmm. So we'll just take a quick look at the supports, the 109s, the 113 OPs, Gepards and Dusters.
Yeah, Gepards are really squeezing just into period, though I think technically they're 76 for first appearance. So Duster is really the correct choice here for anti-aircraft.
Sure, but it's also pleasant,
Hmm.
having the Duster here when
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken, we were cheated out of it with the American. Nope, nope, we did get it with the
Yeah, we
Americans.
did with Americans. Yep. Yep.
I
Unfortunately, no Hawk missile support here, though we didn't have that with the Americans either. So, but yeah, and some tank box, a Rakuten Jagdpanzer Zug, the predecessor to Jag.
Yep. And then Phantoms and Cobras.
Yeah.
Like I said, you if you want to play NATO, you better get used to Phantoms and Cobras.
Yes. Again, I'm curious if the West Germans had an anti-tank helicopter at this point. I can't remember when the PAR and the Hot combo is very much a Team Yankee thing, but I can't remember if they had an older helicopter with the AS-11 missile like the British had. But in the meantime, we don't have that, so yeah, it's just Cobras doing that work for you. So tanks.
Yeah, sorry, I was doing a little quick Google search to see what was there before, but
Mhm.
here is our Leopard 1 Panzer Company. Two black boxes. The classic West German thing of the third optional box can have some infantry instead, either coming in Martyrs or 113s. We'll talk about those later. Uh, the Rachten Jagdpanzerzugs,
Mhm.
which are your proto Jags. It's not the same chassis, but they're basically, slow to the ground, tracked armored vehicles that fire ATGMs.
Yeah. Eh,
In Formation 109s, which is nice, and of course, some recon with the Kurs.
yeah. Predecessor lurks.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, the leopard here, it's worth talking about because it's the only tank in Checkpoint Charlie that has a moving rate of fire of better than one. It's got the first sort of modern stabilizer or something close to the modern stabilizers, the sort of
Yes,
improved two-plane stabilizers. So it's got rate of fire two on the move, which makes it very nimble, but it has to be because its
it's
armor
front
is
armor 8.
its front armor A. This is very much the West Germans saying speed and positioning would be my armor. There's no point trying to out armor rush heat warheads. We're going to skip all that nonsense. We're just going to make a very light, nimble, fast tank to basically get in position, fire, retreat, reposition, fire, so on, so on, and
Yeah,
just
so
dance the enemy.
the only differences between this and Team Yankee, front armor is downgraded from 9 to 8.
Hmm.
AT is downgraded from 19 to 18.
Yeah.
We've got bazooka skirts. I believe in Team Yankee they have a fancier armor package of some
No,
sort.
still bazooka skirts and Team
Is it still
Yankee.
bazooka skirts?
Hmm.
Okay.
The big other change is obviously, as with all the other tanks in this period, accurate instead of laser stabilizer, laser rangefinder,
Right.
which is the thing that does hurt for a tank that wants to be moving. You don't really want to be using accurate, although you do have the skill to sort of do some dancing if you wanted to.
I mean, you have the stabilizer though, so you've got that moving rate of fire too. So
Yeah, just get within 16, shoot. I mean,
you have a benefit if you stay still. You have a benefit if you move.
yeah, which is quite a handy way of doing it. But yeah, it's and points wise, it's competitive with its peers. In fact, three of them is darn sight cheaper than three British Centurions. So you'll get a lot of hitting power for a relatively cheap cost, which is a very weird thing to say for West Germans. Is normally you get they used to be expensive guys normally, but here they're actually relatively points and cost efficient.
They are strangely enough the Hordy NATO army in Checkpoint Charlie
Yeah.
because their infantry units are much bigger than in Team Yankee.
Hmm.
We'll dig into that just a little bit more. Uh, but like you can run a lot of tanks. It's 3 to 5 in the platoon, 1 to 2 for the HQ, but like you can run a lot of Leopard ones
Mm.
if you were so inclined.
Yeah. Yes, some big platoons at this point compared to what you get later.
Mm-hmm.
No, so like the M9 batteries, again, 3 or 6 gun batteries, so you can put a lot of those down should you wish. Um,
Also true.
yeah, the Rakuten Panzers is worth bringing those up because I sort of mentioned at this point. Rakuten Jagdpanzer. So it's
Right.
they called it a Rakuten Jagdpanzer 2, but the model isn't. The model appears to be the earlier Rakuten Jagdpanzer 1, which is based on the same chassis as the Hotchkiss APC we're going to cover later. Same armament though, it had the same SS-11 missile, which is anti-tank 21, quite effective for this period, but a
Yeah,
minimum range of 16, which you have to be careful of.
which is a touch big minimum range for ATGMs. Of course, for
Yeah,
this period in time, none of these ATGMs are particularly good.
they're more on par with the 83 in that regard and having that sort of
Mhm.
pickup distance of 16. Um, because they started it for a Rakatan Jagdpanzer 2, it's also got two machine guns rather than the one that a Rakatan Jagdpanzer 1 had. So yeah, it's interesting they went that way. I do
It's
wonder if
fun.
they're,
You get a little forward firing machine gun, even though I thought that was the thing that went away in World War II.
yeah. But another thing to note here is for defense, which lets you bypass the deep reserves special rule. You don't
Yes.
have to have these guys in reserves, which gives you a front armor 6 vehicle, which, okay, it can make too much difference, but a lot of them for a defending scenario. So
Yeah, and
always worth
they're
considering.
pretty reasonable. I mean, you can get 2 to 4 of them in a unit.
Mhm.
They're not too expensive. I think they're, well pointed. So you always want to have a unit of these, hanging around.
About on par with their swing fire in the British, yeah.
Yeah, you can get 2 of them actually, because a lot of these have one in the formation, and then it is a support option. So
Hmm.
not a bad pickup.
West German missile spam. There you are.
Hmm.
Heard it here first. That's new meta.
Oh God. Your other option of tank is the M48.
Hmm.
Very similar to the American version. Front armor 13, AT-16, accurate heat smoke. It's only 2-1 in your rate of fire though,
Yeah.
and they're just a touch more expensive than the Leopards.
Yeah, about a point a tank more expensive. You're obviously paying for that armor, better front and
You
side
are
armor.
paying for that armor. I still think the Leopard ones are a better choice because you got that speed, you got that stabilizer.
Hmm. I mean, you also got skill 3 plus, which means you can do stuff like blitzing and shoot scoot. So it makes that armor disadvantage easier to mitigate. You can do stuff like reliably setting up behind a tree line, rattling off your shots, and then shoot and scoot back away from the tree line so you're out of sight. And next turn, blitz back up, do some more shots.
Yeah, and AT is down across the board certainly, but AT-13 is still not a lot of front armor anyway.
No.
Yes, it will help you against the smaller, gun carriages and
Mhm.
the weirdo stuff, but
But T62, you're still going to be struggling to save against. You can just about do it, but it's not guaranteed by any
if
means.
the dice are kind to you, yes, but
If you hit
if we
smaller
apply the
sixes,
law of statistics, you're going to explode into a fireball.
Mike, you can't bring statistics into a war game. That's a fool's errand at the best of times. Next, we try to say you can do statistics of Blood Bowl. We know that definitely doesn't happen.
I still don't understand how to play Blood Bowl. I just throw dice and bleed on the miniatures and consider that self the game done. But just a touch different.
The wild card. One
The
you
the the weirdo Yag Panzers don't have access to the proto Jag,
nope, because they are a
which
tank
is
unto themselves. Yeah,
yeah, but these things are pretty darn cheap.
they are. I thought we'd have them as a support unit. I wasn't expecting a whole formation of them,
A
so
whole formation of them,
it's a
2 to 4
pleasant.
in the squads. There's still that 32-inch range, 2-1, AT-16 3-up, forward firing heat guns. But AT-16 goes a lot farther than it does in real Team Yankee.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna hurt T55s en masse. I mean,
Yeah,
one
you're
of these
you're gonna hurt
firing.
55s, you're gonna hurt 62s. There's plenty of American and British tanks you can hurt. This thing can. give you at least decent enough odds against anything in the West German arsenal.
Yeah, and it'll thin out BMP hordes and that kind of thing as well.
Yes.
It's you're firing out 2 shots per turn, 8 tank 16.
Yeah,
The-
this is definitely your APC hunter,
Mhm.
but also it's not super used. It's not super restricted like it would be in uh, Team Yankee
Yeah,
proper.
well, that heat versus anything. The important thing here to note is each of the Jagdpanzer Zugs is forward defense. So you have
Yes.
here potentially a formation which could be a defending tank force.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
could have 15 of these things on the board plus your one drop reserves of like 5 Leopard ones.
absolutely? Yeah, it's something to consider. It's got the infantry platoon built into it as well, which is quite handy. You've got the artillery and the Kurs.
Hmm.
You haven't got the tank hunters, but you can always have them from the support option anyway. So,
Yeah. So there's definitely like room to play here for the Jagdpanzer, which is nice because they made it cheap enough that you could run a formation of these
I'm
with
so tempted
little
by it.
thought.
I've got a box. I've been thinking, what? I've got a box. I could buy another couple of boxes. That's a formation there. I
I
could
mean,
do
you could
this.
run the maximum number of Jagdpanzers for under 50 points,
Hmm.
we'll say.
I've got enough infantry. I've got some M113s. The only thing I haven't got is a Kurs. But yes,
Yeah.
it is very tempting me. West Germans are low down my list of things to do for Checkpoint Charlie, but this has intrigued me.
And then we're moving on to the infantry formations. Uh, the Panzer Grenadier Zug and the 113 Panzer Grenadier Zugs are the exact same formations. You just swap out the martyrs for uh, the 113s.
Hmm.
But what is fun is you can get the Jagdpanzers as your armor option, or the M48s or the Leopard ones. But it's fun that you can get the really cheap, like we're just gonna throw a unit in formation here
Hmm.
of
Yeah.
proper armor.
One thing to note here is that whereas in Team Yankee, the M113 Panzer Grenadiers benefit from having an extra Milan. So you had here they are pretty much the same squad formation, platoon formation each time. It's just that one's in M113s and the other one's in infantry fighting vehicles. Um, so there is that slight advantage you get with the M113 in Team Yankee, where it has a slightly better composition and tank systems. But the actual platoon composition is very different to its Team Yankee um, versions. We'll get onto in a second.
Yeah.
It's
Uh, because first of all, if you ran the evens, if you ran the two martyr infantry platoon, that option's out the window. It starts at the three
yeah,
martyr option, and then goes to 4 and 5, where you could get 5 MG3 teams and four Carl Gustavs and 5 martyrs. At big as they get.
yeah. The actual minimum size one is it's basically almost like the Team Yankee, where you had 3 MGs and 2 Milans. It's just here you have 3 MGs and 2 Carl Gustav teams. It's
Yes.
the Carl Gustav is very much filling that role. The
And again,
mortars,
the Carl Gustav actually has like is a very powerful weapon
it
in
is.
Checkpoint Charlie.
I mean, they actually. One thing I noticed because I thought for sure the Carl Gustavs here were 2-man teams, yet they don't seem to have a penalty on their anti-tank in assault. There's no like
No,
assault.
they're assault 5.
Oh, sorry, they are. Yeah, it's just hidden behind the watermark. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, they
Yeah.
are 2-man team versus the British ones, which are a four-man team. But for point fire, that's fine. Um, Worth noting here, mortars and M19s are pretty much as is. We've already
Yeah,
talked about.
the mortars are the big boy 120 mortars,
Yeah.
64-inch range, AT3 firepower 3 up, smoke bombardment, everything we're used to.
I didn't realise. I was reading the blurb. They're actually licensed built Finnish 120 mm mortars.
Really?
Yeah, just reading the blurb about it a second ago. So it says here they were Finnish 120 mm Tampere mortars. But they basically made a license. Then later they built them under license. So yeah, little fact there for you. another thing you got here is you've got the Recce Kurz, but also you have the Kurz Schützenpanzerkanonenzug, which is basically a fire support version of the Kurz. Same 20-meter autocannon, but you just have, I think, up to six of them as a static fire support, basically. So again, something to go hunting APCs and soft skins and BTRs and stuff.
Uh, yeah, and you can get a lot of them in the Schurz Panzerkanonzer because you can get three, five, or seven,
Hmm.
and they are cheap. And they're only 3.2 AT-6 5-up firepower anti-helicopters, but like they're autocannons, man. A lot of autocannons are still they're still dangerous.
I mean, someone rocks up with some hinds, you can light the sky up with those things.
Absolutely, or cobras.
Yeah.
Whatever you find yourself getting into.
Hmm.
Other IFVs, A APCs. I mean, you
Yes.
can you can tear up infantry formations with these things
Yeah,
because it's a lot of firepower.
it is. And only firepower five, but it's still a lot of firepower five to be putting out.
Well, it's a
So,
lot of shots.
mhm.
We're looking at 14 or 21 shots into whatever unfortunate target decided to be good
Yeah,
enough targets for you to shoot at.
yeah. Um, Another thing I mentioned earlier was that, like I say, the Marder is really the IFV box because you have the option here of replacing the Marders with the predecessor of the Marder for what I keep calling the Hotchkiss because that's who built it, but for SPZ 12-3 Lang
Yeah, the Schützenpanzer.
Schützenpanzer.
Mm.
Really, the first. I don't think it ever classified as an IFV, but it's really the first IFV. It's got 20 millimeter autocannon turret. It's designed for carrying its troops much closer to the front and fighting with them. Um, its 20 millimeter is a little less punchy than the Marders. It's a short barrel, once a six
Yeah, it's
versus.
just literally down to 6 from 7.
Yeah,
It's a little bit a little more heavily armored.
yeah,
Front armor 4, side of 3, top of 1.
yeah.
So a little bit better protection overall. A little bit slower.
A little bit slower. Yes,
Actually, kind of a lot slower. Actually, you lose 6 inches on terrain dash. That's a lot.
it is, but it's sort of keep. It's still fast enough to keep up the tanks. The Marder, like, it'll keep up the M48s, that kind of thing. It's slower than, say, the Leopards. That's really where the Marder comes in.
Right.
But it's more enough to keep up the M48s. Um,
But it's a good option that's given to you if you want to play a,
I prob
early 70s, late 60s game
Yeah.
because the Martyr is like 75, 76. I think you were saying earlier, Lee.
Yeah, it's basically starts appearing from about 71, I believe. But it didn't really start getting mainstream until 72, 73. But another big thing you get with the Lang is one of them, the HQ tank, comes with a recoilless rifle, which has an anti-tank 17 shot, which is quite a useful little fire support. It's the 106 millimeters that the Americans have. So, it just bolsters your Carl Gustavs and that by giving like, one little shot. But yeah, it's something to
Yeah.
consider, Lang. It's just a shame it's a resin metal kit rather than a plastic kit.
That is that's a thing that I say about half of this range. It's very unfortunate that it's resin and metal.
Hmm. I'm hoping we get this initial release, so later they do revisit it with some plastics later.
Hmm.
Because there's lots of scope here. Like say, a kit with just both for Lang and for Rakuten Panzer, Panzer 1, for example. Easy showing right there.
And then moving on to our recon detachment here.
Yes, where it gets weird again.
Yep. So it's more of
It's such a weird
these Schwer
platoon.
Panzer Langs from Hotchkiss, and then we've got some M41. So we have some even older light American tanks in here.
Yeah,
The HQ is pretty interesting because it's two M41s and it's two of the Hotchkiss Kurzes.
one. It's just one curse.
Is that not what I said? Okay.
It's two curse. It's not. It's not. It's
Oh,
11
it's
dash
it's
two
it's
curse.
one Kurz.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
one
it's one
curse.
Kurz and two M41s.
It's basically the same composition as the Schwer Spar troops are. But the actual main troops are also two M41s and one curse. It's a very weird platoon. And basically, the HQ was just one of the platoons. from the actual troop. So if you look at the actual force diagram, you'll see the last group of Kurds don't have a tank, a Schwer spar troop with them. So in reality, Tiankin is this thing that always annoys me. These weren't really separate platoons; they're separate sections of a troop. So you'd have two lots of two Kurs, and then the fire support unit of the two M41s and one Kurs. And really, it should be one big platoon, albeit a very dispersed platoon, which is kind of what they did in version 2, Tour Duty, what the predecessor Nam, with the cavalry units. You had like little discrete platoon, mini platoons that always had to be in coherency in the main platoon and all counted for one platoon for morale. You didn't have this issue of little two tank platoons breaking because they were never treated as just their own separate two tanks. With Team Yankee, they've gone and split those out into separate little platoons, which means you end up with all these little units of two tanks, which just break as soon as any kind of fire goes their way.
Sure, but counterpoint their reconnaissance units. They should just leave immediately upon taking fire.
They should, yes. In
Uh,
the absolute reality would be,
but
but
everything in this game has this tendency to fight to the death all the goddamn time. So
yes,
here we are.
mhm. Yeah. The sort of missing fourth M41 Schwer Spar troop is the HQ. It was just another
Yes,
platoon in the troop, basically. But make it
with
work in Team
ever
Yankee.
so slightly better skill. Yeah,
Yeah.
as is any company leader. But yeah, the M41 themselves are pretty
Sporty
decent.
for a light tank.
Front
Yeah.
armor 4, side armor 3, top 1,
It's basically a really
movement.
angry Chaffee.
It is a really it's the angriest of Chaffies because this might be America's last light tank until the Sheridan.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because the
Uh
M114 that was obviously, as we discussed previously, was a bit of a disaster and isn't a tank by even a light tank. Um, Yeah, the M41 was sold off to everyone. So I mean, the Danes, it should be in Team Yankee with the Danes. So Grumpy Lee again. This model's back. Maybe it'll appear now.
yeah,
Uh,
AT-14 firepower 3 up, literally nothing else, not accurate, none of that. So it's okay. I mean, it gives you a little bit of bite.
yeah, use your speed to get onto a flank and start shooting down the enemy's line. They probably got is you haven't got a stabilizer to really turn the wick up for that move and shoot. But
I think it's you mostly get into position and you use that good West German skill to blitz up
yeah,
into a shot and
jockey.
then take your two.
It's let down by the weird German organization of being two M41s and a Kurz. That Kurz is just going. It's
The
not
curse
really.
is slower. It crosses better, but it's slower in every other stat.
And let's face it, its firepower is somewhat lacking. Even the 50 cal is getting close to it.
Uh, Almost comedically. These are also weird 50 cals, Lee, because these are 3 3 50 cals.
Oh yeah, Roman 3.2s. How bizarre. I'm sure that's deliberate and not a tour typo.
I don't know why they get magic faster firing or better on the move 50 cals than the Americans, but here we are.
It's because of cavalry scouts, therefore, magic happens to cavalry.
I'm just gonna go look at the M48 ever so quickly. The M48 don't get the magic 50 cals.
No. No one else does get 50 cal, so I completely forgot to mention it. The M113s and the Panzerjägers, Panzergrenadiers failed. The Germans didn't want the infantry having any fun, so they took it off and put a MG3 on instead. So
Yes, they are classic 7.62A machine guns. Sadly, no fun 50 cals for the vast majority of Germans.
it's a machine gun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it
But
for the
yeah,
game.
but even with these two tank units, they're scout and spearhead,
Yeah,
and they are dirt cheap.
they are.
So you can get quite a lot. Now to be clear, the M41 Schwer Spot Troop are not spearhead; they are just scout.
Hmm.
So you will not be able to telescope them around. But you can get plenty of these Kurzes and just be all over the board if you wanted to.
Yeah, and if you're playing the formation, you'll generally have a Kurz spar troop in your formation. And then the M41's a black box. So you can still rock up with some
Well,
M41s if
it's
you want.
it's it's two curses or black boxes, and then a M41 Schwer troop
Yeah, but for
is your
formation,
third black box.
yeah, for formation support for other guys, is what I'm talking about. But yeah,
Oh, right, of course.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, there's no support infantry platoon here, unlike the Team Yankee Aufklärung. It's just there's no Gepards because no one gets in there in formation anti-aircraft in this period for the Germans. So it's a bit different to the Team Yankee Recce formation that in that regard, but you do get a lot more units. So you can flood everyone with two a little weird combo of M41s and curses.
yes. Sorry, I'm just looking up something very quickly. A thing I should have looked up before. Uh, okay, yep. Just double checking. So let's move on to support units then.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is formations. We don't have any Luftwaffe, we don't have
Oh,
any Fallschirmjäger or Yeet or um, I'm trying to think. Well, I forgot. We got the Gebirgsjäger. That's it, the mountain guys. So unfortunately, it's very much a stripped down thing at the moment. Hopefully, we'll see it expanded in the future, maybe. But so go buy it now to encourage Battlefront to keep doing this.
right. So looking at the first things in support, the Gepard is here. Guess what? It's the exact same Gepard from Team Yankee.
Yeah,
I just want to see if like maybe AT had dropped or it didn't have, radar, but no, it's got all that stuff.
it's all exactly the same as the Team Yankee version.
Yeah, no, it's still got that AT-11, which means it's still kind of nonsense.
It is, and like I say, it really probably shouldn't have been in this period because it's doesn't re-enter service till 76. I'm pretty sure it's 76. I'm going to look it up after this, and if I'm wrong, I'll put a correction like I did on the last video.
I mean,
Really
just
should be
from
it
a
should be a
gameplay
duster.
point, uh, you literally only get the one. So it's not like you can spam them as badly as you can. It's also only two
Yeah,
or three.
rather than the five you can get by Team Yankee.
Right.
Yeah.
So thankfully they have been reined in a bit, but that's still 5.4 AT-11 4 up firepower. It's still pretty fucking nonsense how good that gun is.
Hmm. And it's a shame because it sort of overshadows the Duster, which is a good enough anti-helicopter system.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it shares a box with the Duster.
Duster's rocking up with Halted Fire, Rate of Fire 4. It's got the Firepower 4, which is always handy for popping a
Yeah.
hind. It hasn't got a radar, so it will struggle against their German,
It's
West
slightly
German and Soviets
lower
aircraft.
range,
Yeah, well,
but it's
a radar.
also a third of the point cost for the Dusters, so
Yeah,
there's still a point in picking them.
absolutely. Plus, it's technically the correct choice as well. So it's the best kind of correct, technically correct.
Mhm. The OP is classic. Um, the Phantom, this is probably the worst Phantom of the bunch, if I have to be honest here.
It's
You get the Vulcan, 3 shots,
mhm.
6.5 plus anti-helicopter. You get a one-shot salvo that is AT-1 5 up firepower. It's
With
the
cluster
one-shot
bombs. Yeah,
American cluster bombs. And you get the 1,000-pound bomb, which is, AT-4 2 plus bombs, with the artillery template. Uh, Even though they're skill 3 plus, these are the worst. These are the worst phantoms that we've seen.
because they haven't got any hot sticky death in the form of napalm.
Well, you don't get the good one-shot napalm like the Americans do, and you don't get the insane demo rockets like the Brits do.
No, and everyone's skill 3 plus, so it's not even an advantage there in terms of their aircraft. It,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, as the only air option you get, it's not bad. You still have the 1,000 pounders, which dig out dug in infantry and heavy tanks. The cluster bombs, I mean, they're good against infantry advancing over the open. That's about it. They just don't get the reroll saves like napalm does, which is a real problem. And you stop the Vulcan for ghost strafing stuff like enemy SAM systems.
Yeah. So it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, so
Uh,
It's very much West Germans is very much revisiting a lot of themes you'll see with the Team Yankee book. Um, Highly mobile armor, check. That's what Leopard's giving you. Competent infantry, yep, and actually bolstered by actually being decent platoon sizes, unlike their Team Yankee brethren.
Yeah, you don't have those Leopard 2s and the 2A4s to rely on to bail you out of bad situations, though. So
No,
it is more unforgiving.
no, you really have to make sure you're good at your tank jockeying with the Leopards. But you have got plenty of anti-tank missiles to act as a firing base, which is always handy.
And a bunch of Kanonjag Panzer Kanons.
Yes, excellent. Let's rock up with some slutty flat panzers.
The Stug 5 exists and it's here. It's here to get you.
It took five. Yes, that's sort of rocking through the West Germans. I like him. I do fancy doing some leopards at some point. I do really fancy doing their cannon panzers because, like I say, I've got a box. I'm tempted to buy. If I see another box at Warfare, I might pick up another box, and that's my two platoons there, along with some infantry. I'm running away to a German panzer, a West German force I hadn't intended to do.
Well,
They probably got my Marders are the wrong color scheme, so but it gives me an excuse to buy some of their Hotchkisses anyway. So.
that's true. But speaking of Leopard 1s,
Oh yes, tier list.
it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show where we go tier lists. So just a reminder, Bad Fit exists because we've kind of reached across some other games.
Hmm.
Do not take, the air mobile unit being in Bad Fit to mean that it's a bad box. It's an absolutely great box for Nom, but it just doesn't really work here. Uh, British starter box has managed to beat the allegations. But this box is fun. It's 10 Leopard 1s. It's 5 Martyrs with 5 MG3 and 4 Carl Gustav teams, so that's one big platoon.
Yep.
Although it is enough that you can no, it's not enough that you can split them into the smalls. That is not how that works anymore. And then 3 109s.
Yeah. It's
I
a
mean,
it ticks all the boxes, doesn't it?
it ticks the boxes. You can,
I mean, so that's basically yeah, one HQ and two big platoons of five, or three platoons of three. Depends what works out best for reserves.
I mean, you could work it. Sorry, hold on a second here.
See, I'm just glad Battlefront did do
The
something like give
HQ
us
is, two
seven
tanks in the
leopards.
HQ.
Hmm.
The two black boxes, you make them 4 tanks each. You pop those Panzer Grenadiers in as your third box.
Yep.
The 109s go in there, and all you're missing are some proto Jaguars and some Kurzes,
Yep.
and you've got a maxed out thing. Like this is really good.
I mean, I'm just surprised Battlefront didn't like say give us seven leopards and then three M48s. We dodged a bullet here. I think we
That
should be
is that
thankful
is
of
the
it.
classic Battlefront move, isn't it?
Let's just give you a complete random assortment of tanks here. Oh, two tank units, but so that's a trick only left for the British generally. So, but
I mean, they really did push those 2 tank units with the Brits even now.
I think when I worked it out, that's a good 80, 85 points worth of force there. There is plenty of points left over for getting you your recce unit, going back and fleshing out, like you said, there are Rakuten Panzer, Panzers, maybe some air support as well, or maybe another two Rakuten Panzers, or some Panzer cannons. There's lots of options.
Yeah,
There's
but
lots you can do with that box. It's a very good box.
it's all in formation.
Yep.
Literally everything is in formation. None of the box goes to waste. None of us go, well, technically we could have done this, but this is a stupid way of doing it. Like, no, this all just makes sense.
But
Uh,
there's
I
a
think the
question.
question is
Is it a buy two?
what can a man do with 20 Leopard 1s other than they pull double duty for your new West German Team Yankee army and you want to really spam Leopard 1s?
I mean, yes, it's you could buy two, but unless you're playing particularly big games, it's probably not going to work out.
I don't think buying two is
No.
great. Like a box of leopards in case you wanted to just swap that infantry out for a third platoon of tanks.
Yeah.
I can see the argument for, and that makes sense.
Yeah,
But unless you want this army to pull double duty for Team Yankee, unfortunately, I just can't give it by two.
no,
That's just going straight into solid though, and I
yes.
will take no arguments otherwise.
For those looking at it, thinking, oh, I could use this for Team Yankee, you could almost could. For Leopards, will be the standard Leopard kit with an alternative sprue with the early turret on. So you'll still have the late turrets for Team Yankee. The only problem you're going to have is the infantry, which are metal. Someone's confirmed they are metal infantry. So the plastic infantry that were mentioned last year obviously haven't appeared yet. Don't
Hmm.
come with Milan teams. There's no easy way of getting the Milan teams to make them useful for Team Yankee. You just get the Carcass Tough teams, which do have a use in Team Yankee, but no Milans. Everything else in that box, though, can do double duty and will work for both periods.
Yes.
Just be wary of the infantry, that's all.
Yes, there's the ever so slightest of caveats on the infantry, but in the lens of Checkpoint Charlie, this is just really good.
It is, yeah. It's not worth looking at the Team Yankee box, really. There's just far too much wastage.
It's Leopard 2A4s exist in that box. I'm sorry. It's
And Marder
just
2s. All you
and
can really
Martyr
use from it,
2s.
all you can use from it is the OP and the free M109s, and that's it. So I thought for sure there's a NATO Leopard 1 box. And I can't I'm
Uh
just
in V1 there was, but I believe it was three Leopard ones and two paw helicopters.
right, so again, not especially useful. I could have sworn there was a version free
It was
version.
NATO's front line or something like that, but it was
Yeah,
it was
maybe that's what I'm
literally
thinking
like
of.
those micro starters they used to do in V1 of Team Yankee.
Yeah. 'Cause I can't find any trace of anything else. So that is pretty much it for your army building options here. All I want is Battlefront now to spring the plastic cannon panzer on us and have that as a new starter set. Do it, Battlefront. Do it.
That would be fun. That would be a very here's a box that you would really only ever want to buy for Checkpoint Charlie. This is for the real Checkpoint Charlie sickos, like Mike and Lee.
Mhm. They're fun. They're fun. Like I say, in this period, they actually are useful. Whereas all you
I
can really do in Team Yankee is hunt BMBs with them. But
I
everything,
I love stupid stuff like that. I am so glad some of that stuff lives.
I mean, the
Uh,
problem in Team Yankee is everything has some sort of special anti-heat armor, and obviously it only fires heat. For some reason, it doesn't fire a APCB round or something like that.
yeah, bazooka skirts are certainly plentiful in this game,
Yeah.
but not everywhere.
Hmm. And like I say, it's got enough anti-tank that the bazooka skirts don't really do much against it. So yeah, I kind of like West Germans. They're growing on me. When I first read it, I thought, yeah, but then the weirdness of the Cannon Panzer and the Rakatan Panzer, Jagdpanzer, sort of started growing on me. So they are slowly but surely making me think I need to do these at some point.
I
And just
mean, it's certainly the weirdest thing we're going to talk about until we get to the West Germ or the East Germans, excuse me.
are we doing East Germans? I was going to pay as much attention as Battlefront have done to them, apparently, and just
I love the East Germans. How dare you? Spoiler alert, the SU-100 is in the East German list.
spoiler alert, T-34-85 and IS-2 isn't, which is why I'm disappointed.
Look, I think you just need to get Fez on the phone and he's going to have to, apologize for his crimes of a Fate of a Nation T-34-85 spam. And until Pete gets that apology, they're never coming to Team Yankee or Checkpoint Charlie. I don't make the rules. It's unfortunate.
The shame you can't use Egyptians, have Egyptians as allies for Soviets, because then I'd have a T-34 battalion just as a reserve unit backup kind of thing. So rocket up some T-34-85s in 1960. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, we're finally getting to that time when it is actually a short episode. We probably should have done East Germans. We should have done East Germans at the same time, just called it the German episode and just have both.
Oh, but then we would we'd look like idiots being like, these episodes are going to be shorter, hour and a half, hour 45, hour flat. Like, let's just take two short episodes and get content out more
Yeah.
quickly.
We're only just over the 1 hour mark in the last episode, which went up today. So if you're wondering when I do this, and
Right.
only
So we didn't have any comments to talk about because we literally did this episode too quickly.
yes, there are some additional comments on the American episode after it went live with the public. So we got Baragon 301 says, I'm not even going to play Checkpoint Charlie, but I'm so deprived of time of day. So thanks for that.
We
Uh,
got them, Lee. They're
uh,
addicted.
they had a hit. Calpo 265 says, the Bridget Rymake incident sounds freaking hilarious. And yes, I love all the chaffee zooming around in that movie. Of course, it was spooked the commies. I mean, I'm in a T-55, it ain't gonna spook me too much. It's like, oh, a chaffee. Gunner, heat. Um,
Dear God, the Czechs are attacking us with chaffies. Where did they even get them?
where did these come from?
This is the work of capitalist agitators, clearly.
Well, I think hilariously that was they did actually try and do that as a propaganda thing afterwards by pointing to his chaffies as signs of American intervention. Just like, dude, they're barely running. Michael Wayne 3198 says the M103 is in Clash of Steel, and you get optional T55 T57
T-57.
turrets. Yeah, the oscillating turret, which is interesting because one of the American starters for Clash of Steel had T57s in. I didn't realize that's doing double duty as the M103. So that's interesting. I might reevaluate that starter box. One of the things we might do is go back and look at the Clash of Steel starters and say how useful they are for doing when we get to the final episode, maybe with a bonus episode. Um, Memorations says default, great to listen while painting Foan. Excellent.
We are
And
truly, absolutely satisfactory second screen content. The
we are.
niche we live in.
I'm happy being second screen. It's a screen. Um, Richard Curley, 207, last comment says, hi, I am new to Team Yankee and picked up the CPC
Checkpoint
US dot
Charlie.
yep, US data last week. See, first I read through, I was trying to work out what CPC was in the US Army until I realized I was being a
I don't
muppet.
understand how the U.S. Army in the pocket of the Communist Party of China? Impossible.
Well, I mean, it's the 70s. If you buy the PDF book, there is no forces code. Yeah, that's just verifying. We weren't sure if that was the case.
Mhm.
I have Clash of Steel Warning for Unification, Americans versus Germans. That box. So wait, this guy's going to do our job for us in this. That
Mm.
box has 3 M48s and 4 M103s. So there you go. I have 10 M48s and 7 M103s. I mean, wow. Okay, that's a decent force. I'm looking at an M48 company. I already had 3 M106s, 2 M163 VADs, and one fist from a force I'm building Team Yankee. So yeah, I will use their 5 M113s, M106, and 4 transports. But as a noob, the infantry confuses me. It's my best bet to buy TUS 703 Mech Platoon, which I think is a modern one. Where do I buy an air mobile platoon?
Ah,
Thanks for your video. Being from Australia, I found English gent's accent and fast talking hard to pick up. Wait, the Aussie can't understand me, but you can understand the American. What? But I got a lot of good pointers on what to build and what to avoid. Apparently, West Country accents, I'm guessing. There is not much CPC content at the moment, so this is gold. Well, thanks very much. And I'll be sure to
okay.
try and speak a bit slower because I do tend to talk fast when I get excited.
Or you quadruple down and you just start doing a Cockney accent, and then I won't even understand you.
I can't do Cockney.
Oh,
I can't do a convincing Cockney accent anyway. It's just I just struggle with the accents in general that aren't my own. Maybe I spend most of my time trying to suppress my the worst extremes of the West Country accent that lurks around in my accent sort of history. So the TUS 703 platoon
that
is
is the one that's in the catalog.
oh it is yes absolutely that's your best bet precisely that.
Yeah, that gives you everything you want. It's going to give you the right number of dragon teams, the right number of machine gun teams, including those light machine guns that are prevalent in
Mhm.
both versions. He was asking about the air mobile though, and
So
I
it's got
think
the 19 mil for doing air mud, but were their platoons bigger? That's what I'm just trying to work out.
Seven M16s, two LMGs, and then the 90 mil recoilless
So it's
optional.
fine for that too. One thing I'm going to note is they have cheaped out, and certainly in the catalogue, the dragons are the Team Yankee dragons. Okay, I can see the Paz GT body armor, the big shoulder things on the guys, which is somewhat annoying. But the rest of the infantry are your classic NAM infantry with the M16s, M6Ds, the M1 steel helmets. So yeah, definitely TUS 703 is your best bet for all your infantry options you need for Checkpoint Charlie. So thanks, guys. Lots of good feedback there. And as always, as we go forward on these regular videos, I'll try and read out the comments in the future videos as we do them.
Yes. I'm just quickly peeking through the stuff they were the old NOM catalog here
Mhm.
to see if there was because he specifically asked about an air mobile sprue, and I know they existed for NOM. Whether or not you can find them anymore, of course,
Mhm.
check your friendly local game stores because
Yeah, I can't remember what's different about the composition that made them
the
have a different
whole
platoon.
thing was
It's the same figures. So originally, when way back in version 2, the first NARM was really a tie-in with War Games Illustrated, and it was purely air mobile versus Parvin, basically. And that was it. It was like as a one and done release of some air mobile infantry, original resin Hueys, some mortars, and then the Vietnamese were a bunch of the MVA stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, the book
as I'm not
is.
showing up on the book. I'm trying to show off that I went and grabbed my book so I can look in the catalog in
All
the
right,
back.
you're lording it over me. I still haven't had a chance to get my own one back. So, and then later in version 2, we had Tour of Duty appear, which then went back and added in stuff like Tropic Lightning infantry. No, Tropic Lightning was a separate. Sorry, Tropic Lightning was a separate mini booklet that came War Games Illustrated that added in rifle platoons and other stuff. And then Tour of Duty was an actual bigger book that expanded that further. I mean, you had Brown Navy came in later, which added in all the monitors. And then version 4, you have NARM, which sort of took all that and consolidated it together. So the
Right.
range is
So
kind of weird and gets built on over time with each bit.
I have found the answer in my invisible book here. There is an air cavalry troop in the catalog for U.S. forces.
Hmm.
It is nine M60 MG teams with M72 anti-tank. So
Is that for that
it
big
does.
HQ platoon you get with the air mobile? The air
Yes,
mobile.
that is essentially what that is.
Yeah.
Because if we look at air rifles, it is just the Riverine, but it's seven guys, it's two machine guns, it's an optional 90 mil. Like that's what the rifle companies are. Let me just double check the
Hmm.
actual air cav troops here.
I do have the PDF for it, so I will put up a picture of it as we go through.
Yeah, those rifle companies, the air mobile rifle platoons are the exact same. That sprue is literally just so you can have the max size HQ in the air cavalry troop,
Mhm.
which is literally just that one unit of infantry and then a metric ton of cobras and loaches,
Yes.
which is a very fun list to play. More people should play Nom. This is incredible. Uh,
It's a good way of getting
it's an
back into
invisible book
them.
though, so good luck
Yeah.
reading it.
I will put in some, like I say, I can take some screen grabs from the PDF version I've got from the review copy from years ago. So yeah, I don't worry, you'll see some pictures here of the different interruptions that we just talked about. So yeah, there you go. That's West Germany, best Germany.
And then I'm gonna just ever so quickly check the British episode for any kind of comments.
I'm looking at it now, but unfortunately, it hasn't been out long enough. Uh,
Okay, well,
it only went live.
acceptable. It is
Um,
out early for patron backers.
yeah, we got 3 likes, so some of the patrons have found it, and I'll put in the
Well,
thumbs
one of
up.
those is me, and I have an ego, so womp womp.
Wait, you tell me I got to go back and take off 1 like of all our episodes 'cause it's you. Ah, man, that's just. I now feel cheated. It's like, I mean, I'm the one person going. I want to know who the person is giving us dislikes on each video. So clearly, someone doesn't like us.
I think it's the eyes and ears crew, and they're jealous of us as always. I'll continue this one-sided war against eyes of ears, other people that we talk to, play games with, and share this channel with.
I mean, unlike Eyes and Ears, we've actually put an episode out in the past few months, so it's a
Yeah. Or
shots
it's
fired.
Fez because we keep talking about bringing Duncan on, and we've never talked about bringing Fez on.
No, no, we haven't. Yeah, well, to be fair, we haven't actually brought Duncan on yet. We apart from
Well,
that
we keep
weird
threatening to.
our little drop cameo we put in that of the 21st Panzer episode, which was quite funny.
And I
But
think that was an incredible thing. But like we put out our first episode over 2 years ago, and we've always been, yes, let's do some nonsense.
mhm. If you want a serious video, this is not the place to go to.
This is not the place to go.
I mean, I don't think there's much else in the way of video content around these days, but certainly not the sort of video cast format. So your options are limited. There's some battle reports out there, and that's about it. But yeah,
Well, we're a niche market. We're a niche brand in a niche market. What are you gonna do?
winning by default, default, default,
Default,
default.
default, default.
Dear. So yeah, next episode we'll hopefully follow on soon after this, and will be the Soviets.
Yes, and then I'm glad people are I'm glad we're putting out content more often by doing shorter episodes. Uh, we're gonna talk. The Soviet one's gonna be a long one. I've got at least 10 minutes about internal balance I need to rant about.
And
It's
there'll be a very short East German episode where we might then start to look at the Clash of Steel starters as well. And then it's a case of looking at early war. We might have a quick episode to the early war previews that are sort of started appearing. So
hopefully.
yeah, well, so far it's two boxes and a book cover, but hey, it's content. It's something to talk
Had,
about.
Early War's been punted all the way to 2026, right? Nothing's coming out this year. There's nothing dangling as Q4.
I don't think so. I think Checkpoint Charlie takes us to end of November, so I imagine Christmas shutdown.
Early War just in time for Christmas.
I mean, they could start bringing out. They started publicizing it, and they usually do that a couple of months before releasing. So I still think January is probably more likely, but we'll see.
Probably, but
Mhm. Who knows? December review PDF. We'll see. Start writing some clock. Get that content going. No, we're back. We're back, baby. We have content to talk about again. Yeah.
yeah, we'll see what happens with Early War. I'm who knows? Maybe Fez will break on to talk about Luftlandesturm if they make that mistake a second time.
I hope they bring it back, otherwise he's going to be devastated. He might be even inconsolable. We'll have to see.
Where else would he? What would he do with his tiny weird glider models?
But
Other than
yeah,
put him next to his other weird aircraft models of various sizes.
we cover plastic carnation. We cover plastic glider for a very niche army. It's just never change, Battlefront. Never change. Anyway, that's it from us for this episode. As always, like and subscribe, or just like, you have to subscribe. Well, no, you don't even like us, just subscribe. Subscribe at least, then when I'm going to put the next release out, I'm going to wait
Yeah,
for
but
it.
we're putting out episodes pretty quickly. You might want to consider subscribing at this point.
I mean, we're practically weekly at this point. I'm
Let's
going to
not get
do
crazy. Let's not get crazy here, Lee.
I do my best to turn this episode around in a few days. So we'll try aim to have weekly content to release it the rest of this month. Um, we're doing well so far. Um, and yeah, we will be back then. Do comment, like I say, I will read out the comments unless you're really mean and make me cry. Um, and yeah, we will see you then.
Yeah, put your questions in the comments and we will do our best to help you like we helped our Australian friend earlier. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Ready when you are. He's still eating. That's fine. There's no rush.
Nope, I'm ready.
Okay.
I've consumed my chicken tikka flatbread, so I'm ready.